This is the steppe, a sea of grass that forged the toughest people on earth. For centuries, its tribes were locked in a cycle of endless, petty war. A story of raiding, revenge, and suffering. Until one man emerged from the dust to shatter the cycle, by uniting the world under his boot. His name would become a synonym for terror. And for empire. He was a slave, an outcast, a boy hunted by his enemies. He would become a god to his people, and a devil to his foes. This is not a story of a monster. This is the story of a strategist, a unifier, a lawgiver, and the deadliest conqueror the world has ever known. But every empire begins with a single breath. And his story began not with a roar, but with a whimper. His name was Temujin. And his world was about to be torn apart. When Temujin was only 9, his father, a minor chieftain named Yasuke, was poisoned by rival Tatars. The power of a steppe leader died with him. His family was abandoned by their clan, left to die on the merciless plains. This was his first lesson: the world is cruel, and survival is everything. His mother, Hoilan, a formidable woman, taught them to hunt for rats and grubs. It was here, in the crucible of starvation, that Temujin learned his most vital skill: resilience. Conflict was inevitable. He clashed with his older half-brother, Begtur, over the meager spoils of their hunt. In a brutal, premeditated act, Temujin and his younger brother Kasar ambushed and killed Begtur. His mother was enraged. She screamed at them, "We have no friends but our shadows, no weapons but our wits. And you turn on each other?" It was a lesson that would define his future philosophy: unity above all. The strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. His early notoriety made him a target. He was captured by a rival tribe and enslaved, forced to wear a heavy wooden collar. It was the ultimate humiliation. But a wolf in a cage is still a wolf. He waited, he watched, and one night, he saw his chance. With a ferocious blow, he smashed the Kang on a rock and fled, hiding in a river, using a hollow reed to breathe while his pursuers thundered past. His escape was legendary, a testament to his cunning and indomitable will. He returned to his family not as a boy, but as a man with a purpose, to never be weak again. His first major alliance was with another young noble, Jamuka. They swore an oath of Anda, blood brotherhood. It was a bond stronger than family. Together, they began to attract followers, a small band of warriors drawn to Temujin's growing reputation and his vision of a new way. But Temujin was a revolutionary. He broke with steppe tradition. He promoted men based on merit and loyalty, not just noble birth. He decreed that all plunder would be shared equally. This was a powerful, seductive message for the common warrior, and his coalition swelled. But Jamuka watched his blood brothers rise with unease. This was not their old way. Temujin's power was a threat. The bond of Anda began to strain, then fray. The break came at a council. The question was leadership. Jamuka represented the old aristocracy. Temujin represented a new meritocracy. The tribe split. As Temujin and his followers left, Jamuka's resentment solidified into a deadly hatred. The blood brother was now the blood enemy. Soon after, at the Battle of Dalan Baljut, Jamuka's superior forces crushed Temujin's army. It was a devastating defeat. Forced to flee, Temujin learned another vital lesson: sentimentality has no place in war. To win, he would need to be smarter, faster, and utterly ruthless. He spent years rebuilding, learning, and outmaneuvering his rivals. One by one, he defeated the Tatars, the Karaites, the Naimans, and finally, his blood brother Jamuka. By 1206, he had done the impossible. He had united all the nomadic tribes of the Mongolian plateau. At a great council, a Kurultai, they gave him a new name: Genghis Khan. It did not mean bloodthirsty tyrant. Its meaning is debated, but it is often translated as universal ruler. The boy who had nothing was now the master of all he surveyed. But his true genius was not in conquest, but in consolidation. He introduced the Yassa, a new legal code. It forbade the kidnapping of women, punished theft severely, and granted religious freedom to all. It was a system designed to break the old tribal loyalties and create a single, unified Mongol identity. He then turned his unified nation into the world's most efficient war machine. His army was organized on a decimal system. Promotion was based on merit. He perfected feigned retreats, envelopment tactics, and the use of terror as a psychological weapon. The steppe had been forged into a sword. And now, it was time to swing it at the world. His first target was the Jin dynasty of China, who had long oppressed the steppe peoples. The Mongols, once mere raiders, learned siege warfare from Chinese engineers, and they learned fast. City after city fell. Then, a fatal insult. The Shah of the Khwarezmian Empire in Persia executed Genghis Khan's trade ambassadors. For Genghis Khan, this was a violation of the sacred law of diplomacy. His response would be apocalyptic. The Mongol invasion of Khwarezmia was one of the most brutal campaigns in history. Cities that resisted were utterly annihilated, their populations massacred as a warning to others. It was a level of destruction the world had never seen. By the end of his life, Genghis Khan's empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea. It was the largest contiguous land empire in human history. Yet he remained, at his core, a man of the steppe. He distrusted cities, valued loyalty above gold, and ruled his empire from the saddle. He died in 1227 under mysterious circumstances, from battle wounds, illness, or a fall from a horse. On his deathbed, he laid out a plan for his successors to finish off the last remnants of his enemies. Even in death, he was a strategist. According to his wishes, he was buried in a secret, unmarked grave somewhere in Mongolia. The funeral procession killed anyone they encountered to keep the location secret. To this day, his tomb is lost, returning the universal ruler to the embrace of the silent steppe that created him. His legacy is a paradox. He was responsible for the deaths of millions, yet his empire ushered in the Pax Mongolica, a period of stability that reopened the Silk Road, connecting East and West as never before. Ideas, technologies, and goods flowed freely across continents. His policy of religious tolerance was unprecedented. His meritocratic system was centuries ahead of its time. Genghis Khan, the illiterate orphan, had reshaped the globe. And his bloodline endures. Genetic studies indicate that nearly 0.5% of the world's male population, roughly 16 million men, are direct descendants of the Great Khan. A biological empire that outlasted the political one. He was a boy, a slave, a brother, a traitor, a unifier, a lawgiver, and a conqueror. He was the punishment of God, and the force of history. He was Genghis Khan. And 800 years later, the world he made still echoes with the thunder of his hooves.